I'll be very brief. I want to talk very briefly about the auto strike. I'd like to say a few words about the contract negotiations between the United Auto Workers and the big three auto companies. I've been in touch with both parties since this began over the last few weeks and over the past decade. Auto companies have seen record profits, including the last few years, because of the extraordinary skill and sacrifices of the UAW workers. But those record profits have not been shared fairly, in my view, with those workers. Just as the Treasury Department has released a report pointing out that the most comprehensive report ever dealing with how unions are good for both union workers and non-union workers and the overall economy. Unions raise workers' wages, they said, incomes, increase home ownership, increase retirement savings, increase access to critical benefits like sick leave and child care, and reduce inequality, all of which strengthen our economy for all workers. That's because unions raise standards across the workplaces and entire industries, pushing up wages and strengthening benefits for everyone. That's why strong unions are critical to a growing economy and growing it from the middle out, the bottom up, not the top down. That's especially true as we transition to a clean energy future, which we're in the process of doing. I believe that transition should be fair and a win-win, for auto workers and auto companies. But I also believe the contract agreement must lead to a vibrant, made-in-America future that promotes good, strong, middle-class jobs that workers can raise a family on. Where the UAW remains at the heart of our auto economy, and where the big three companies continue to lead in innovation, excellence, quality, and leadership. Last night, after negotiations broke down, the UAW announced a targeted strike at a few big three auto plants. Let's be clear. No one wants a strike. Say it again. No one wants a strike. But I respect workers' right to use their options under the collective bargaining system. And I understand the workers' frustration. Over generations, auto workers sacrificed so much to keep the industry alive and strong, especially through the economic crisis and the pandemic. Workers deserve a fair share of the benefits they helped create for an enterprise. I do appreciate that the parties have been working around the clock. And when I first called them at the very first day of the negotiations, I said, please stay at the table as long as you can to try to work this out. And they've been around the clock, and the companies have made some significant offers. But I believe they should go further to ensure record corporate profits mean record contracts for the UAW. Let me say that again. Record corporate profits, which they have, should be shared by record contracts for the UAW. And just as we're building an economy of the future, we need labor agreements for the future. It's my hope that the parties can return to the negotiation table to forge a win-win agreement. To continue our active engagement, I'm dispatching 2 members of my team to Detroit, Acting Labor Secretary Julie Hsu and White House Senior Advisor Gene Sperling, both of them have been involved up to now, to offer their full support for the parties in reaching a contract. The bottom line is that auto workers help create America's middle class. They deserve a contract that sustains them in the middle class. So thank you very much. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you.
Mr. President, at what point would you get directly involved in the negotiations? Should Hunter get a part in?
Just listening to President Biden, they're talking about the current auto workers strike. The United Auto Workers Union is currently striking against 3 facilities from the 3 big U.S. automakers. First time in history that's ever happened, and we just heard the president trying to encourage the automakers to come up to do more in these negotiations. I want to bring in White House correspondent Mary Alice Parks, along with senior national correspondent Terry Moran, who's on the picket line outside of Fort Plant in Wayne, Michigan, for more. Mary Alice, it sounds like the president is trying to give sympathy and empathy to both sides here, but ultimately encouraging these automakers to come up in their offer.
Absolutely, Diane. This is a president who likes to call himself the most pro-union president in history. 2 things, though, there that we did not hear. One, the president did not endorse specific asks from the labor unions at this point. He talked about how he thought they deserved a fair wage. They deserved new contracts for this moment. They deserved a piece of the pie. He talked about record-breaking corporate profits, but he did not get into their specific demands. And he also didn't say specifically if he was asked to get involved, though it was very interesting to me. He said that 2 members of his team have been dispatched now to Michigan to help on the ground with these negotiations. That would suggest that there was at least an opening there for more involvement from Washington.
Mary Alice, he's saying that these companies and the union, for that matter, that they're working round the clock to try to work this out. How much hope do you think there is from the White House that this will be resolved quickly?
The White House so far has been very optimistic. They've been telling us behind the scenes they're hopeful that this won't go on for long, that they don't think it will be hugely disruptive to the economy if it is short-lived. But they are also very aware that they want to stand with workers. They want to stand in solidarity with workers, and they don't want, what I've been told is they don't want to be seen in any way as pressuring the workers to take an agreement that they're not excited about.
I want to go over to Terry Moran, who's there on the picket line. Terry, what are you hearing from workers there?
They're upbeat, Diane. They do feel like this is a moment for them to change the course of the compensation, benefits, the whole status that they have as laborers with these companies. Ford, this is a Ford plant behind me. They make the Ford Bronco. A couple of employees on this picket line said, I can't afford to buy the car I make. And they want to change that, and so they are united. Now, this is day one. You just asked how long this strike might go on. It might go on a while, right? Weeks, maybe longer. They have made progress, but the longer it goes, of course, the harder it is for everybody, for the companies, but also for the men and women on the picket line behind me. They get $500 a week. They're getting a lot of support right now, as you can hear, and that will be tough for them. But right now, they're upbeat, they're determined, and they're confident that they've got the leverage that they need to make their lives better. They think they're going to come out with a win-win situation for them.
Terry, how are the workers responding to what the automakers are saying? You know, that this is an industry pivoting toward electric, and that, you know, they're trying to prepare for the future here, and that these requests are unrealistic.
The workers that I've talked to about electric vehicles, about the future, they get it. They get it. They're not trying to stand in the way of the future and stop it. They want to be part of it. They recognize that some of those plants are built in states which are non-unionized plants, but they think they can do it themselves, and they want to be part of that. They want the transition, though, to be sensitive to the fact that, you know, there are thousands of workers here who won't be building electric vehicles. So one of the things that they want is to be part of that discussion. Look, you know, they feel they've been downtrodden in some ways by these companies, and they want the benefits and pay that they think they deserve for making these cars. Everybody I've talked to is proud about what they do in there. They say, we want to make a car that when it rolls off the assembly line, you and your family could get into it, and you'd be safe and happy with it. So they want to be part of the discussion about the future of the industry as well. That is down the line. Right now, they are looking for this wage increase, restoration of benefits and pensions, but I don't think they're afraid of the future. I think they want to be part of it in a way that their parents were and that they have been in the internal combustion engine automobile industry.
All right, Terry Moran, Mary Alice Parks, thank you both.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.